In-person early voting has wrapped up here in the Commonwealth, but Election Day is still on our horizon, with tomorrow being the final chance for candidates to make their case to Kentuckians before they go out and vote on Tuesday. WKYT's Jessica Umbro joining us now in studio to talk about some of those statewide races that are on the ballot this year in our top story at 10.
Breaking down the races that you will see on the ballot when you cast your vote. But with so many races, it can be so hard to keep track of it all. So we are here to break all of it down for you, starting with the top of the ticket with Democrat incumbent Andy Beshear and Republican challenger Daniel Cameron.
When you're a good job for all the people, then each person will give you a second look regardless of your party.
We feel very good about where we are and that we're going to win on November 7th.
In the race for Secretary of State, Republican Michael Adams hopes to serve a second term, while Democratic challenger Buddy Wheatley is running to expand early voting and increase voter participation.
Low voter turnout is a big reason I'm running. We really do need to focus on this in Kentucky.
That's about ensuring that we keep early voting, that we keep facilitated absentee voting, things that we've implemented to make sure it's easy to vote but still hard to cheat.
Daniel Cameron's run for governor leaves the Attorney General position open, with Republican candidate and Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Kentucky, Russell Coleman, facing off against former U.S. Air Force JAG Attorney Colonel Pamela Stevenson for the role.
You need an Attorney General working with a governor with a sense of urgency to push back on that violence.
My job is to make sure, as the people's lawyer, that we make sure we're for the people, by the people, to serve the people.
Republican Allison Ball, who has hit her term limit as state treasurer, is now running for auditor, a job that entails examining the state's financial transactions. Ball will face tax attorney and Democratic challenger Kim Reeder.
This is an area that we need to keep an eye on. We need to make sure processes are correct, that money is being transferred the way it's supposed to.
I'm very committed to serving Kentuckians, as I've shown with my teaching background.
Kentucky's treasurer plays a vital role in managing the state's debt and other financial dealings. Democrat Michael Bowman lost the race for treasurer in 2019. This time he will face off against Garrett County attorney and Republican candidate Mark Metcalf.
I have the skills, the background, and the qualifications to be treasurer.
Electing me means that you will have a treasurer that's looking for ways to save money as opposed to spend money.
And finally, former Republican House Majority Floor Leader Jonathan Schell will face off against Democratic challenger and economic development consultant Sierra Enlow for the job of Agriculture Commissioner.
I fight for three things. I fight for my family, I fight for my farm, and I fight for conservative values.
I saw how much advocacy Kentucky farmers really needed, and that they needed this professionality in the conversation.
Both candidates for governor are making stops throughout the Commonwealth. Today, incumbent Democrat candidate for governor Andy Beshear visited with voters in Newport in northern Kentucky. Tomorrow, he will make stops in Pikeville, Prestonsburg, Moorhead, Lexington, and finally Louisville. Republican candidate for governor Attorney General Daniel Cameron wrapped up his bus tour yesterday, making stops in western Kentucky and Louisville. Tomorrow, he will travel to Fort Wright, Lexington, Louisville, Bowling Green, and wrap up in his hometown of Elizabethtown.